first video basically kind of made it look like Takeoff was sitting somewhere, you know, in his own little world and then happened to just stand up and see what's going on. But that's not really what happened. So what happened was they played these dice games. Then later on, when the bowling alley closed, everybody congregated outside of the bowling alley. Then you could see Quavo. There's a video that they captured. We're going to watch a little bit of the video. But there's a video that captured Quavo having another man. And it sounded like he was talking about basketball, which was kind of a fight that took place, a very small kind of fight that was starting to happen. And that's when the shooting happened. On this video, we're going to look, you will see Takeoff is just standing in the crowd watching the fight. So you know, usually guys, if you guys have ever seen a fight, when there's usually a fight, there's the two people or how many people in the middle who are having the dispute. And then there's a big crowd that's people watching and looking on. And that's what happened. And that stray bullet hit him when the shooting happened. So he was not even part of it. He was just watching. So let's look at this video, guys. Someone's yelling, listen, in the N-word. That's Quavo saying, listen, and he's saying, listen, N-word, basically. Okay, you say you're not going to be disrespectful like that. Oh, man, I'm trying to pause it and show you, and this thing keeps... Okay. Why does it keep covering it up when I pause it? Ugh, I hate this video. But look, here, there's Quavo. Let's go back. There's a guy telling, so sorry guys, I gotta do it this way because unfortunately when you press pause, it covers it. But in here, you can hear Quavo is being loud and angry with somebody else. The guy says, listen, N-word, you don't have to be disrespectful. You ain't gotta be disrespectful like that. That's what the other guy tells Quavo. Because he's mad, because Quavo's mad because he lost the dice game, basically. And so now they're having a fight. Now here you can see in this video, that is Takeoff. Takeoff is merely just standing there in the crowd with all these people watching as Quavo is having the fight. He is not even involved in the altercation. He's just standing there, just watching. And the thing is, that's what I thought was just so precious about Takeoff is he's not a problem maker type rapper. Other rappers would have jumped in, try to fight, and be like, why are you messing with my friend? Da, 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 da. No, Takeoff was not going to get involved with that at all. He's just gentle-natured, just watching to make sure everything's okay. You know, he's just making sure, you know, what's going on. That's it. He's not trying to get involved. But no, he gets shot by a stray bullet. So look, did you see that? Did you see? So see there, did you see Quavo? He's in the face of another man with a white cap on. And for some reason, this is the part that doesn't make sense to me. Okay, here, let me pause it here. I want you guys to see exactly who are the parties involved. So look, that's Quavo. And that is the man in the cap here who he's having the fight with about the dice game. Now, I don't know what happened, but Quavo starts talking about a basketball game. He's like, I don't want to play no basketball. I don't know if the guy in the white cap is trying to calm him down and says, hey, we could play basketball and then maybe you can get your money back that way. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to calm Quavo down, and Quavo's like, man, I don't want to play no basketball. I don't know what the argument was about, but he mentioned the basketball, which is why I thought it was kind of weird. See, he said, I don't want to play no basketball. You saw me play basketball. He's saying, I don't play like that, bro. So I don't know why he's still mad, not able to calm down. So at this part, this is when they all bum rush each other and they're gonna fight. And this is when you will hear the gunshots go off, guys, after that part. I cannot play that because YouTube will strike my page and channel if I do that. But after that part, they bum rush each other, and then that's when the gunshots go off, and then the stray bullet hits Takeoff at that moment. And here is an actual still shot of the photo, that the video we just saw. You can see all of these people are all just standing there watching Quavo argue, and Quavo's right here. This is Quavo right here. Quavo's right there. Takeoff is right here, right behind Quavo, just watching what's going on. He's not even in it. That's what I just love about Takeoff, and that's why this hurts so bad, because it's like Takeoff is not an argumentative person. Even though his uncle Quavo gets in a lot of fights and stuff or whatever altercations, Takeoff stays in his own lane. He don't get involved. That's why this is so heartbreaking, you guys. So heartbreaking. Just look at him just innocently just chilling, like not even a part of it. God, my heart is broken, y'all. So the picture Takeoff is in the white shirt right here and black pants, and with his back to the camera. Someone's videotaping it at this time. This is actually outside the building. They're outside of the building of the bowling alley. And they can be seen here before the fatal shooting in Houston, looking on while the group argues. So just everybody's just spectators. Everybody just sitting there watching the fight. Basically, that's going to happen. Then when they bum rush each other to actually fight, somebody who is a coward, like what the police officers were saying in the hearing, is that, you know, normally back in the day, back in the old days, people would fight the old school way. They would punch each other, throw a couple hits, and then they'd be gone, you know. But tragically, in this situation, that is not what happened, unfortunately. So after they do that, here you can see another still shot of the tragedy. You can see here Quavo is still very agitated, arguing with the other person. This person with the white cap, he's somehow involved in this. And the officers need to question that guy with the white cap. I don't know who he is, but they need to question him because he's involved. So here is a statement from, I don't know who this is from, guys. Let's see who this is from. Oh, this is from Takeoff's manager. The statement from Takeoff's manager says, "It is with broken hearts and deep sadness that we mourn the loss of our beloved brother, Kershnik Kari Ball, known to the world as Takeoff. Senseless violence and a stray bullet has taken another life from this world, and we are devastated. Please respect his family and friends as we all continue to process this monumental loss." What a horrible day, guys. So much loss in this one day. So much tragedy. So, and we already did this video, so we don't need to do that again. I think we covered this in the other video, so we don't need to go over these parts again. I just wanted to show you that video showing him before the incident. Here is the whole group before they split up, before Takeoff tragically died. Oh my gosh. Offset broke up basically with the group, so he wasn't even a part of the group. So that's even more sad because he was having problems with the group. Quavo, Takeoff, and Offset on the hip hop trios Migo. This is Quavo and Takeoff were in Houston Monday night, where Takeoff was shot and killed. Offset was in New York with his girlfriend Cardi B and their children, so he was not at the sad tragedy. Quavo replies with a line about basketball, saying, "Yeah." So this is when he's arguing. This is what was going on. That's why I don't understand why they're talking about basketball. Anyway, Quavo replies when he's arguing with this other guy about dice because he lost. He replies with a line about basketball, saying, "Y'all seen me play basketball? Don't play like that." Interesting. So he knew these dudes. He knew these dudes because he had played basketball with the dudes before. So something happened in the dice game that was sketchy. And they had played stuff before, like they played basketball. So he was using an example of a prior, they played different things, I guess, and they bet on different things. And one of the things they bet on is basketball. And so he was telling them, the guy he's arguing with, he's like, you guys seen me play basketball before. You know I don't play like that. So I guess something sketchy happened in the dice game. And he's saying, you already know I don't get down with stuff like that. You see me play in basketball, and you know how, I don't play like that. And then someone can be heard in the crowd saying, let it go, bro. These are going to be the hunting words that will hunt Quavo for the rest of his life. Whoever said, let it go, bro, are going to be the hunting words that will forever hunt Quavo for the rest of his life. Because if Quavo would have just let it go, the Lord says pride comes before a man's destruction. If he would have just let it go and moved on, Takeoff would have been here. This sweet, precious man would have been here. Had nothing to do with what was going on with Quavo. The two problem children in this group always have been Quavo and Offset. Never have I ever heard anything really going on with Takeoff. So the crowd begins to disperse, then seconds later, gunshots ring out, seemingly from different directions. So there was two different gun battles going on. Takeoff was shot in the head or neck. People are saying he was shot in both the head and the neck. Police confirmed that the artist died at the scene of the incident. So he was already dead upon arrival. When the officers got there, he was dead. And investigators have launched a manhunt for the shooter or shooters behind the attack. Troy Vinny, Houston police chief, said they believe the assailant was at the party with Takeoff, who he described as very peaceful and very loving. Authorities said they have no reason to believe he was involved in any criminal and confirmed that 2 firearms were used in the incident. They are appealing for witnesses. A 23-year-old man and 24-year-old woman were also taken to the hospital, but they are okay now. And this is sad. This is one of the photos, guys. This is the photo, and this is Takeoff. Oh my gosh, this is so sad. So Takeoff is being carried away in a body bag, basically. Takeoff, 28, who is a member of the hip-hop trio, was shot at a private party as a group gathered outside 810 Billards Bowling, Houston, in Texas at 2:30 a.m. So as the onlookers are looking, they are taking Takeoff into the, that's sad, oh my gosh, into the car. And this is the picture of him right before he died. He was with a friend before he was shot. This is a picture of somebody mourning the loss of Takeoff. One of the fans visited the scene with a bunch of roses for the Grammy-nominated artist, looking distraught as authorities removed his body. That is sad. He's one of the fans that came here just to watch as Takeoff was taken away in a body bag. And here it is, another live photo of them wheeling his body here. Sad. Medical examiner removed the body from the scene in the San Jacinto, Texas on Tuesday. So sad. We've already seen this photo, and if you want to know the explanation of that, you can go to my first video on that. That's just a picture of his body there, blurred out. Officers remain on the scene, and they're investigating the cause of the fatal incident in the early hours. And there's probably a lot of video surveillance, so this will be easy to resolve, and they will. They'll find the people who shot, and they're going to all be arrested. Officers confirmed that his mother had flown into Houston to speak to them, with the police chief urging anyone with information or footage to come forward. At the press conference, they said there were at least 40 people there, so they want them to come forward. They said Takeoff was well respected. He's nonviolent, and they would not expect him to be involved, which he wasn't. There's video of him just showing him standing around. He's not bothering anybody. And the weird part is, guys, I still can't really wrap my head around why Quavo got into the fight in the first place. He has built a $26 million fortune Why didn't he just let it go? Why? And I'm not blaming Quavo because Quavo wasn't the one that shot. It was somebody in his camp. But still, man, over some money, you can make that money in no time. Oh, it hurts. Quavo bandmate and uncle of Takeoff was distraught as he knelt over his nephew moments after the shooting. He can be heard screaming for help. There was a lady there who was a nurse, so she tried to give aid, but there was no hope. Once he was shot in the head, it was a done deal. There was nothing they could have done. So there is the fan here and a couple people just standing around. It is unclear if the private party was a birthday celebration, but witnesses claim they were at least 40 and 50 people. It was actually a birthday party for, I don't know this guy's name. I think it's Jazz Prince or whatever his name is. It was a birthday party though for another rapper. And this is a live photo of Quavo in distraught over his nephew. Quavo bandmate and Uncle Takeoff looked distraught as he knelt over his nephew moments after the shooting. And this is him kneeling over his nephew. His Takeoff's mother is Quavo's older sister too. So that's even more emotional because the older sister will be holding Quavo accountable for her son because it's like she kind of asked, for Quavo to look out for her son. Always look out for my son. I'm trusting you to be there for him. As an older sister, I would imagine that's something she would say to Quavo to, you guys are going to be on the road traveling. Look out for my baby, look out for my boy. Even though he's a 28-year-old man, mothers always look at their sons as their baby boy. It doesn't matter how old they are. So I'm pretty sure the mother has told him, watch out for my son, look out for him. Because she knows her son like the back of her hand. And she knows her son is a sweet, sweet young man, that he doesn't get involved in anything. Even though he saw his uncle getting involved in stuff, he's not a troublemaker. Offset, now if Offset was there, Offset would have jumped in and got involved, and it would have been even worse. It would have been a huge, bigger shootout than it was. But you notice how no, Takeoff stayed in the background. He didn't join in his uncle's mess. He's just stood around, just to be an onlooker. He didn't get involved. So that's what makes it even more sad. Over a dang dice game. This, ugh. He never got to get married. He never got to have children. It's so sad. And he just released his new album with his uncle. So it's like, dang. Oh, gosh. Y'all, this is sad. Somebody said, oh gosh, Takeoff gone way too soon. God takes the angels he needs back to heaven. Takeoff was such a sweet and kind soul, a tragedy that didn't need to happen, sending so much strength to Takeoff's family and friends. Just wow. Takeoff's real name is Kirshnik Kari Ball. I'm in shock right now. Tributes pour in from the music community as rapper Takeoff is dead. Tributes come in flooding. We don't need to read those. Dang. Oh, somebody, a rapper named Ugly God wrote, do y'all not realize these N-words changed the whole cadence of rap when they came out? Rest in peace, Takeoff. This man has been staying out of the way, keeping it minimal, and minding his own business since the beginning. If that's not enough to be left alone, then I don't know. That's sad. And Claudia Johnson said, she's a reality star. Claudia Johnson said, sad and senseless. He was a bystander and got shot. We got to do something about everyone and they mama in Texas having guns, especially reckless folk who can't simply disagree with people. They have to resort to this. My deepest condolences to the whole family. Takeoff, gone at 28. Dang, that's true, guys. It's like, dang. Nikita Dragon said something, Young Miami. Oh man, guys. A lot of the celebrities, we don't need to go over everybody's statements. And the sad part is they just released their project as a duo. It's called Unk and Few. And they released their latest music video called Messy on Monday, hours before the killing. So this on Monday, on Halloween, they released their music video, and then he dies 2 o'clock in the morning the next day. That's how quick everything happened. Oh my God, my soul so hurt so bad. I wish it wasn't real. He didn't deserve this, y'all. Down to earth, cool dude. Um, Offset hasn't said anything. I'm really wondering if this is going to bring the family back together. I know they had a big rift with Offset, but I'm wondering what Offset's going to do. I haven't heard anything from Offset. Offset's been quiet. Cardi B surprisingly hasn't said anything. And guys, you guys know Cardi B is very vocal. So I'm shocked that Cardi B hasn't said anything yet. But everybody's quiet, understandably enough. This is a huge tragedy. Oh my gosh. Ugh. So hip hop artist Takeoff grew up in the same house as his uncle Quavo and cousin Offset before the trio decided to form a rap group, Mingos, helping him build a 26 million fortune. So basically, Quavo's sister took care of her son Takeoff, and she took in her nephew. I mean, she took in her little brother Quavo, and she took in Offset, her cousin. That's sweet. She raised all three of them. That's so sweet that she did that. That's honorable of Takeoff's mom. Sound like he had a really great mother in his life. Um, his desperate last moments came after an incredible family story where the three Migos grew up together in the mid 2000s, and they would go from dropping out of Mar High School to building a $26 million fortune. Um, there's a picture of them when they were younger. We saw this one in the other video. I'm trying to get to the stuff I missed last time because I cut off the video early. It was Atlanta where the group sowed the seeds that grew their fame. They describe back-to-back nights with DJs consistently having songs on rotation so that their music and faces become recognized. So they built their own fame. That's beautiful. They're like little poor kids. This is what makes their story so inspiring. They were little poor kids who had a dream. And these poor kids from the hood rose up. They had a dream and they worked hard and they became famous and rich. And just such an inspiring story. And for them to lose it all over a dice game is sad. I don't know how I don't know how the Migos could really thrive after this. Because to be honest, I listened to their latest music without Offset in it. And to me, it doesn't sound too good without Offset. I feel like all three of them is what made the group so powerful. When they're together, they're just incredible as the trio. And when they're divided, it just, I don't know, it does something to the quality of their music. So I don't know how they could even thrive without Takeoff being gone. Their solo projects didn't seem to do too well. So I don't know how Offset is going to come back from this. We shall see. So the trio would go from around 7 songs per day in a relentless schedule, even leaving homework for each other before starting a session. Hi, Aunt. How are you doing? Hi. Sorry, guys. I'm just ranting on and on. I did this video earlier, but I missed a lot of stuff, so I wanted to go over their background just in case people aren't familiar with the Migos, because some people aren't. By the time he was in middle school, he was living under the same roof as his uncle Quavo, 3 years his senior. So that means Quavo is 29, 30. Quavo's 31 and Takeoff is 28. The two are pictured together attending the second annual Black Ball at Fox Theater in June 1st. They were so close. They grew up together in the same household. They've been together their whole life, basically. And they rose to fame together. So the bond is very thick. So I do feel deep empathy for Quavo. You got to have fun with a song, make somebody laugh, said Takeoff. You got to have character. A hard punchline can make you laugh, but you got to know how to say it. Takeoff was known as the most silent member of the band or rarely gave interviews. He just gave an interview, I think it was last week, regarding his recent album, but normally he doesn't give interviews. In fact, I don't never hear about Takeoff until he died. That's why I was so shocked um that he died. I was like, are you sure it's Takeoff? When I first saw it, they said Takeoff. I'm like, Takeoff? Takeoff never gets in any type of brawl or argument. I was like, maybe they meant Offset or Quavo, but not Takeoff. Like, the first time I heard about his death, it just didn't make sense because Takeoff is usually the silent band member who even rarely gives interviews. He just doesn't really talk much. He has the monotone kind of soft kind of voice, and even in the rap songs. He kept any potential love interest as a secret. That's what I liked about him. He didn't have any scandals. Apart from the time that stripper London Dallas posted a picture of the two of them in bed together. So he kept a lot of his relationships low profile. The man was he was smooth. He was a smooth man. So sad. Our world has lost this beautiful soul, man. This beautiful soul. There's so much this man deserved to experience. He didn't even get to have kids, y'all. That's messed up. Nobody has his kids' seeds. Dang, that's sad. Migos had a 15-minute rule, stopping the performance then and there before playing it back to see how it sounds. It felt as though to me like Takeoff was the one that started the group because he was the one that was into rap. If you guys don't know, Offset and Quavo were actually football players. They played on their high school football team. Takeoff was the one that was really into the rapping. And he kind of convinced them to join like in a little rap group with him, and that's how they formulated the Migos. When you drop a song and wake up in the morning and hear the song you dropped last night, that's the best feeling the song will tell you then, said Quavo. Offset, Quavo, Takeoff on Migos arrive at the Metropolitan Museum of Art Costume Institute Gala, and this is in 2018. They had their first break in 2013 with Versace, a track that went on to be remixed by Drake, propelling their first full-length album, YRN, into the spotlight. It's really young, rich, N-word. That's what that means, young, rich, N-word. You know what I mean? Into the spotlight a few years later. Justin Bieber posted a short video of himself rapping along, sending their popularity soaring. So people started singing his songs, the Migos songs, and that's when they really started gaining traction. They had Drake repost and Justin Bieber. The group became steady regulars on the hip hop scene since working alongside high profile artists such as Drake, Katy Perry, and Cardi B, who Offset went on to marry. But the group never forgot family. In 2017, Takeoff and Quavo bought a house for Quavo's mom. Oh, that's sweet. Edna Marshall, according to the magazine. That is so sweet. Ooh, excuse me, guys. Me and Take just bought mama a house. Aw, the big way, Quavo tweeted at the time. That is sweet. Look, they bought his mom a house. That is sweet. But Migos wasn't without issues. Offset was locked up in Georgia's DeKalb County jail for violating his probation received due to prior felony convictions for burglary and theft in 2013. Yeah, so Offset gets in a lot of trouble. There's videos of him cursing out police officers and being aggressive towards cops, but you never see that from Takeoff. Takeoff is a good dude. A series of legal issues plagued the trio as time went on. Offset was arrested for driving with a suspended license in Atlanta in 2016, whereas Takeoff was asked to leave a flight from Atlanta to Des Moines a year later. And the Washington Avenue Armory in Albany sued the group for allegedly inciting violence at a performance where 6 people were stabbed. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that part, guys. I didn't know that see, it seems like I think it's either Quavo or Offset. They start all these fights and people end up stabbed and killed and innocent people are dead when now their own people is dying now. Around this time, Takeoff began working on his own solo projects according to his mother. The three Migos were finally drifting apart to try to do their own projects because as a group, you'll find that these artists don't make a lot of money. They have to divide their money amongst each other, and it just after they divide their finances, then they're not really making as much as they could as solo artists. So a lot of these artists eventually drift apart so that they can make more revenue from their music and so forth. Rumors of a breakup was sparked when Takeoff was absent from an AMA's award for the favorite duo group in the pop rock category in 2018. In the same year, Takeoff launched his first solo project called Last Rocket. They kind of remind me of what the Destiny's Child group who broke up. Well, who would be a Beyonce in this group, y'all? Would it be Offset or Quavo? I don't know. Takeoff gives me like Michelle vibes or Kelly vibes in the background. I don't know. Anyway, Takeoff and Quavo of the Migos perform on stage during the 2022 One Music Fest at Central Park, October 8th. So just October 8th, y'all, they just performed together. That's sad. As the year went on, Quavo seemed most likely to spark a solo career when he was featured on Drake Called's No Brainer. In May 2022, Offset and Cardi B unfollowed the other members of the group on Instagram, so they were having beef. I really wonder, now that Takeoff has died, I wonder how Offset feels. Because I'm pretty sure even though he had beef with his cousin, he don't want his cousin to die. I wonder if this is going to make him talk to Quavo again. I don't know. Offset was preparing to drop his sophomore studio record on November 11th when news of Takeoff's death broke headlines on November 1st. So I don't think he's going to drop his album. Let's wait and see. I'm curious to wait and see if Offset's going to drop that album, because if he drops that album, that's just cold, man. That's cold, because that's basically a slap in the face to say, I don't care that Takeoff has passed away. But if he postpones it, that shows he actually has a heart and he really cares about his cousin. So we'll see what happens. Despite the rumors, though, the group stayed close even when working on their own projects. They said, "We always family, that ain't gonna change," Takeoff told the Big Facts podcast a month before the shooting. So you guys, what this looks like? It looks like Quavo and Offset tend to have a lot of beefs and argue and stuff about stuff. Also over a female, which was Saweetie, because Quavo claims that Saweetie slept with Offset. But I think Takeoff was more of the glue in that family. He was the one that was always trying to be the peacemaker, to be like, yo, we still family. It's not going to change even if we having, disagreements. I think that's kind of how it was. Takeoff was the one that kind of kept them together, even if they had beef between each other. The last Migos album, Culture 3, was released June 2021. It will be their last album as a trio. That is so sad. Takeoff was only 28 years old and killed by a stray bullet as footage emerged of the argument. A stray bullet. This is so sad. What a sweet soul to be gone, guys. A sweet soul. Hi. You've got a really attractive voice, and the way you talk is quite easy on me. I enjoy listening. Hi, Sigma America. How you doing? I know, Anco. I've been sad all day. How have you felt about this story, Anco? This story really was gut-wrenching for me. I mean, we hear about rappers die all the time, but Takeoff, you guys, Takeoff is so sweet. He's so sweet. He never got in any type of fights. He kind of was just in the background while Quavo and Offset caused all the drama. Dang, guys, I'm so sad. This story we can learn, just be careful who you're around. Sometimes family can endanger you also. I don't know. What can we learn? The irony. Okay, let's see what Sigma has to say. The irony. Takeoff was just talking about violence in their new song released hours before the violence happened. Was he? Was he, Sigma? Let's look it up. Let me look up the lyrics. You said he was talking about violence, but either way, you guys, I've never seen Takeoff ever get any violence. Maybe he did it. Maybe he talked about it just, to sound cool. I don't know. Rappers, they got to talk about certain things to sound cool. I don't know. Messy lyrics. Let me see. I do remember that though. I played the song before he died. This is sad, you guys. I don't want him to be dead. Today was a horrible day. There was another artist I just love who lost his little baby boy. I just did a video on that. Today has been very bad, guys. Okay, let's see what you're saying. You're saying that there was something about violence on here? Why you gotta always waste time? You want attention, but you need to learn your lesson. We can never see eye to eye. It seems that we both gone blind. I want to wake up, no more stressing. Yeah, I swear, baby, you so effing messy. He didn't talk really about violence. You always act up. I ain't dealing with your BS. Blue, blue. It doesn't seem like he's talking about fighting anybody. Yeah, this is the song that he just released, and it doesn't talk about violence. It looks like he's trash talking a woman who is being messy. And Quavo is really talking about Sweetie. This song is all about Sweetie. Unless there's another song you're talking about, maybe. Yeah, and Coach, keep reading. Yeah, there's a violence in it. Is it where? Show me where I'm missing the violence part. Why you gonna waste time? All the back and forth just get depressing. You want attention. Yeah, I don't want to wake up. No more stressing. Sick, tired boy, you need to clean your mess up. Every time you come around, you always act up. Blah blah blah. Why you with BS? No, there's no violence in this one. Maybe there's another song. Let me know what song you were referencing, cause this one right here. This one right here. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong one. I might be looking at the wrong one. I'm probably looking at the wrong one. Sorry, I probably got the wrong one. But yeah, Anko, he actually does. He was with his uncle. You can be with people you do know and end up get killed. It don't matter who you're with. I remember I used to go to clubs with my friend, and her friend used to get in physical fights with people. And she got into a big fight with another girl outside of the club. And in my spirit, it was so bad too, it was so violent. I realized I needed to stop going to clubs after that. I wasn't gonna go anymore because I was like, I could be, and I'm such a sweet-natured person, I don't get any problems, but the girl I was with, she got into problems. So I was like, you know what, I need to stay away from this girl because even though she's my friend, she's very loud and gets into problems, and that can cost me my safety or my life. So I stopped hanging out with her, and I've never gone out with her again because of that, because she gets in too much problems. So sometimes you can't be around your own family members. But here's the song you're talking about. Let's see if there is violence in here. I dropped a 4 on perp. I call that blah, blah, blah. I know you want to be me, but it's levels to this. I got tatted on. Want to know my moves and all my spots. I'm more clever. Want to know my stash. Okay, here's Takeoff's verse right here. He says, I know you N-words want to be me. I got the gang tatted on me. That's forever. Want to know my moves and my spots, but I'm more clever. Want to know my stash, how much I got, but I ain't going to tell him. Push it, run it, through it, get the bag, blah, blah, Titanic. Oh, okay, Titanic, big enough for all my N-words to jump on. Come on. I know she came with you, but she looking for me to go home. Rolly discontinued the drink I used to sip on. Okay, Takeoff says, and that's act N-word, blah, blah, blah. Don't, okay, see, this is Takeoff and Quavo right here. Don't let the broke be in because she's too messy. We gon' F, oh, we gon' F them broke boys with, who gon' F them broke boys with? I don't know, who the F them broke boys with? Got out my section, just pulled a muscle, too much flexing, caught him on traffic on an accident, we pressing, smoking Zaza every second I be stressing. If you ain't beat him, F it, won't you stretch him? They wiped his nose for the tissue. Guys, I'm not a rapper, so don't judge me. God bless him. I dropped my 4. Don't laugh at me, y'all. Y'all probably roasted me in the chat. I'm not a rapper. I'm just trying to read the lyrics to see if there's any violence in it. This doesn't really look like violence. And if it was, this is a chorus with both Takeoff and Quavo. Who knows if Quavo? I think Quavo's the problem. He probably wrote these lyrics, and Takeoff, being the sweet go along dude, probably just went along with it and did that chorus. But in his verse, though, he doesn't talk about violence in his verse. This is his verse. So I think the violence is coming from Quavo's end. This is all Quavo right here. Yep, Quavo's a problem maker. This guy's always getting into some problems. Him and Offset. Offset too is always in some issues. So if anything, guys, I don't know. I'm standing strong on my belief that I don't think Takeoff is involved. The hook of the song. Yeah, you're right, Sig American. This is the hook that we saw here. But again, we don't know who wrote the hook because the hook is with both Takeoff and Quavo. No, that's the chorus. Sorry. Where's the hook at? Where's the hook? Interlude, Takeoff. This is the chorus. This is the verse. This is the chorus. Don't let the broke be don't let the broke be in because she's too messy. F them broke. Who the F them broke boys with? Get out my section. Just pulled a muscle. Too much flexing. Okay, just pulled a muscle. That might be. No, that's a cute little line. I just pulled a muscle. It's too much flexing. Hey, flexing my muscle. I'm just kidding. Cause him in traffic on accident. Oh, caught him in traffic on accident. We pressing. Okay, that is a violent statement right there. What are they doing? Smoking Zaza. If you ain't beat him. If you ain't trying to beat him, F it, won't you stretch him? They wiped his nose. God bless him. Yeah, trap talk, I mean, it's rap. It's the rap culture that they talk about violence. But can you point to any actual direct evidence where Takeoff has been in a physical fight? I have not seen it. The only two people that I hear about on a day-to-day is Quavo or Offset. I have never seen a report where Takeoff has been in a fight with somebody. So yeah, he might have put it in his rap song, but even these lyrics here is not as bad as some of the other lyrics I have heard from other rappers who are actually talking about pulling out guns and rolling up on people and shooting them. Like, his is very indirect. He's not directly coming out and saying, I'm gonna kill these people. You know what I mean? No. So I just still Takeoff is not problematic. He's just not. This is the first time I really hear an article being done on Takeoff. Because I'm always hearing about Offset or Quavo, but I never hear about Takeoff because he stays in the background. Even in the video, he's in the background watching, and that's when he dies, is because he's just sitting there watching. Sad. Sad. You just read the violent hook, but you didn't understand what you were reading, sis. I don't understand it, Sigma American. I don't understand it, sweetie. I'm not into rap like that. I'm going to be very honest. So I may not have understood it. So you might be completely right that he was talking about violence. I'm just saying, reading it, it doesn't look as bad as the other rappers I've seen. I mean, we have a lot of rappers, guys, and some of these other rappers are worse than some of these lyrics I'm seeing here. Yeah, there are some violent stuff in here, but comparing it to the other lyrics I've seen from other artists, not as bad. Not as bad. Not as bad. Yeah. Hi, Never Hungry. You're so sweet. Thank you. Do you think Quavo line Takeoff to die? Quavo was the most aggressive one. Do I think Quavo line Takeoff? No, I think Quavo loved Takeoff. They were really close. He didn't want nothing to happen to his nephew. He's really distraught. I don't think he wanted anything to happen to Takeoff. Takeoff's not problematic. It's more of Quavo who started this whole thing in the first place. And the sad part is, these words are gonna haunt Quavo for the rest of his life, y'all. There was somebody in the crowd when he was arguing with the dude. They told Quavo, they said, just let it go, bro. And he didn't let it go. He kept arguing. And that is why it escalated. And I guarantee you, Quavo will hear those words for the rest of his life. Let it go, bro. if you would have just let it go. This will teach us all a lesson. Sometimes we get so prideful and so arrogant and we think we need to have the last word about stuff. Is it worth it? Our life can be snubbed from us within a matter of a second. You can die instantly from a bullet. And now everybody's rolling around with bullets and guns, you guys. Everybody. It's not like the old days where we could chill, get in a little fight. I remember back in the day when I was a kid, we would go to the little park, fight, and everybody go home. You may have some bruises, but everybody went home at the end of the day. It's not like that these days. Nowadays, nobody wants to fight. Everybody wants to pull out their gun. And nobody, a lot of times, somebody doesn't get to go home. So now, because we're living in an age and a period in our life where everybody has firearms, nobody wants to fight, they just want to shoot. We need to move differently. We need to stop, pressing issues that aren't worth it, especially, for example, road rage and stuff like that. It's not worth it because you could lose your life in a matter of seconds. It doesn't matter how rich you are. It doesn't matter if you have a $26 million fortune or you don't. We have to be more careful. It's so sad because this innocent life who was not involved in any of this stuff just happened to be around his problematic uncle who's always getting in fights and brawls and ended up dying because of it. All right. Thanks, guys, for listening. And you're so sweet, Sig American. Thank you so much for trying to help me out. I'm sorry I didn't get it, y'all. Y'all know I'm not a rapper. I think Sig America, you did that to make me, to laugh at me. You probably had me read this thing knowing I'm not a rapper. I'm just playing with you. I'm not a rapper. Maybe he did talk about violence. I do vaguely remember something about violence because I listened to this song today just to kind of figure out what was going on. So there is somewhat of some type of violence, but I'm just saying I'm comparing this to other rappers. And if any of you guys listen to rap, can you tell me if you think this song is as bad as some of the other rap songs you heard out there? Because I've heard some really bad ones where they were like, we rolling up on dudes on the freeway and shooting them in the head, whatever. That stuff kind of lyrics they be talking. They're really blunt. This one is kind of indirect. It's not like he's not directly coming out and saying it. He's more like kind of indirectly saying it, like saying I'm a smoke a person, like whatever. You know what I mean? It's not as direct, I'm just saying. And even if with the lyrics, the word of God says your words are powerful. So I can agree with Sig American. You got to be careful with the words you say because there are a lot of our artists out here who have died in the very same manner related to the very lyrics they used in their, what happened? The very same lyrics they used in their song. So, for example, what is that rapper's name? Gosh, what's that rapper's name? There's a rapper, he died last year, I think. Mo3. Mo3 rapped about being killed in his own hometown. He even did a video basically reenacting his death. He was laying there on a gurney and basically playing as if he was dead. And there was a woman who was basically doing the autopsy and she was on the phone or whatever, talking about how this was a famous rapper. And he did a whole video about his death. And Lord and behold, everything he rapped about manifested. He died the same exact way he described, shooting a person out on the freeway and then ended up in a morgue and people talking about a famous rapper being killed. That was very eerie. It's very kind of scary that he basically spoke out his death. So Sig American makes a good point. You have to be careful with your words. People don't realize words are so powerful. And the scary part about this story is Takeoff, in a recent interview just last week, I believe it was, talked about how before he dies, he wants his flowers. Isn't that scary? He was talking about his death just last week in an interview. And the weird part too is Takeoff never does interviews. So, of all times, he randomly decides to do an interview a week before he dies. I don't know if it was a week before, but it was at least very recently before he died, because he was talking about the new album and how for the first time he's going to be able to shine in his lyrics, and he wants to get his flowers before he dies. And the very sad thing is he dies. So, Sig American is on to something. Just got to be careful with our words. Rappers speak so much about death, and then they keep manifesting their death. There's not Mo 3 is not the first rapper that manifested his death. There's actually quite a few other ones out there. You guys can let me know the other examples, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you are rap fans out there. Let me know in the chat or the comments if you know of any other examples of rappers who manifested their own death through their lyrics. But it's very sad, guys. We need to stop killing each other, and I just feel so sad about Takeoff, guys. I'm sad. Oh, Sig American says one witness who claims that he was actually hit with friendly fire from one of his own crew members. That's true. That's true. In my first video, I read about that. I read the text message from the witness. There was a text message. If you watch the first video I did on this, we read the whole text message. And in that text message, you're right, Siga American. They say that the bullet came from Quavo's camp. So Quavo was trying to fight the dude, I guess, after he lost the dice game outside the bowling alley. And as someone tries to fight Quavo, I believe, somebody from Quavo's group opens fire. And those bullets, stray bullets, ended up killing Takeoff. So that's the sad part about it. Once they arrest whoever did this, we're going to all find out some embarrassing information that unfortunately the person that ended up killing Takeoff was from his own group. That's what makes it even more sad. So you're right about that, Sig American. Andrew says jealousy is envy, and envy is crazy. Yes, Andrew. And we have a lot of jealousy in the Black community. When you see a Black man rise above and succeed, such as a lot of these Black rappers, for some reason, those other young men who are in the Black community, they get jealous of it. They get jealous to see these famous Black men rise up and be successful. And so they want to kill those people. It happens in America, and it happens in other countries such as Nigeria and other places. Something about us Black people, we can't seem to celebrate when we see another Black person succeed. They want to immediately kill. They want to kill the person. That's why, unfortunately, you can't flaunt your fame and riches, because there's jealousy, and it's sad. Especially, I see it a lot in the Black community. I don't really see it like in the Caucasian community, for example. If you see like a white rich man flaunting his riches, I don't hear too often of another white man going out and trying to kill the guy. I don't hear that too often. But I hear it a lot when it comes to Black men and Black women. So we just got to be careful. And unfortunately, even if we do succeed, we have to kind of hide our success, because there's people out there who are jealous of us, who want to see us fail, and they want to take us out. They're not just jealous nowadays. They want to take you out of this world. In this case, I don't think Takeoff's death was intentional. I don't think it was based upon any jealousy. I just think Takeoff happened to be at wrong place, wrong time, wrong uncle. Just wrong. He's the good guy that was in the wrong place. All right. Love you guys. Thank you for listening to me ramble on, and have a good night, and pray for Takeoff's mom right now. She is so distraught. The woman is in deep agony and pain. And you can tell she is, because the officers who spoke to her, if you watch that news conference, you can see their reaction and the pain in their faces when they talk about Takeoff's mom. From that, I can read the energy that this mother is suffering really bad right now. So please pray for her. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care. Have a good night.